Hey, welcome back. I'm Rachel Goodman. I'm a registered dietitian nutritionist who's here to help you feel at peace with food, stop the food chaos, stop the food guilt, stop the food stress, and feel good in your body. Today I'm excited to share with you my experience on vacation with my family, although I wouldn't call it a vacation. It's a trip. It's not a vacation when you go with kids, but I wanted to record and try to capture as much as possible when I was on vacation to really share with you what it looks like to eat intuitively and some tips on how to feel your best, because I remember so many times I would go on vacation or on trips and it would just end up in such chaos. I would eat in ways that felt awful, and in the back of my mind it was always, hey, I'm gonna get back on track and I'm gonna get back on the diet when I get home. And in the meantime, I was not enjoying my time at all. In fact, I remember when I was 19, I was lucky enough to visit some places in Europe, and I have pictures that I look at, and while I had a wonderful time, there was this gray cloud that almost clouded the whole experience, because I remember when I look at those pictures how gross I felt in my body, and it really takes away from enjoying the experience. This whole diet mentality and food rules, and I wanted to give you an inside look plus tips on how that can be different for you when you're in tune with your body and don't have food rules and really truly enjoy the full experience. And I would say that's the number one focus to have when you're going on vacation. You're not on vacation from food rules or from diets if those food rules and diets do not exist to begin with. Your focus when going on vacation is, I want to feel my best and I'm allowed to enjoy food. Just like I'm allowed to enjoy food and listen to my body when I'm not on vacation, I'm going to do the same thing when I'm on vacation. So really this work starts now. You don't have to wait till you're on vacation to experience this freedom. If anything, start now so that when you go on vacation, you've already had that wisdom and healing to enter vacation with that mindset of, I want to feel good, I don't need to be good. Because what happens is if you're going on vacation in a mode of, okay, well, I'm on vacation from my rules, then that's going to fuel the all or none mentality. You're going to feel like it's your only chance to enjoy all these foods. You're not going to listen to your body because you're in a state of urgency that, oh my God, this is my only chance to eat these foods. And then you're going to override your cues. You're not going to feel good, and then ultimately not enjoy your vacation. Your focus is, I want to feel good. I don't need to be good. I want to feel good. Let's start with some tips on flight day if you're traveling. First of all, remember, we're not on vacation from our usual way of eating. You're not rebelling against anything. It's not your only chance. So really focus on eating as usual. And when you know you have a busy day ahead of you, especially a day like a flight day and a travel day, make sure to eat breakfast as usual. And that's what I had. I love toast. So I had toast in the morning, and I had some protein and fiber in there as well, and some fat to really have that combination that will satisfy both my taste buds and my body. When you're traveling and you have a flight day, you want to make sure that you have snacks and food options available for when you get hungry, because sometimes when you're on the go, you can't stop to get certain foods. So planning is essential and absolutely plays a part in intuitive eating, because if you take some time to plan, and when you don't have food rules when you're planning, so you don't feel stressed over what should I get and am I allowed to have this, you can get what satisfies you and what feels good. So when hunger hits you, you have that food available, you can honor your hunger in time, and therefore be able to better respect your fullness when you eat. So that's what I did. I packed a snack bag for each kid, packed a snack bag for myself with some options, so we have foods available for when we're hungry. So I've eaten breakfast, we pack up, get in the car, get to the airport, go through all the security, get on the plane, and by that time I'm hungry again. I take out my sandwich that I prepared for myself, this chicken sandwich, which honestly, I was surprised at how awful it was. And that's also so important when you're eating intuitively. Don't eat foods you don't enjoy. Don't eat foods that are not satisfying to you, especially if you have access to other foods. Your body is not an alternative to the garbage bin, again, especially if you do have access to other foods. So instead of eating that sandwich, I did have other snacks available. I took out these chickpea puffs that are really delicious, and I started eating it. Now the thing is, when I started eating those snacks, I wasn't just snack hungry, I was meal hungry. Like, I needed a meal, but the meal I had made for myself was not something that I wanted. So I just ate as many of the snacks I needed to feel full. Now, technically, if you're going according to the serving size of that family size chickpea snack bag, it would tell me that 1 ounce was the serving and should be enough for me. Except It wasn't. Your body's the expert and your body knows better what you need and how much, more so than an arbitrary number on a nutrition label that they just, make up, really, like literally just make up a number and decide, hey, this is the serving. For me in that moment, 3/4 of that bag was the serving that my body needed. So don't ever feel guilty if you look at a serving size and you're thinking, oh, I should be full because one serving is the serving size. Actually, no, it's not. It's just a suggestion. It's okay to eat more than that. It's okay to eat less than that. Maybe you needed, quote unquote, half a serving of what the nutrition label said, and that was enough for you. The nutrition label really plays no role in the amount that your body actually needs. You know your body, not some number on a bag. So I was still hungry, and so I also had a Kind bar, and that together, 3/4 of the chickpea puffs and the Kind bar was enough to satisfy me in that moment. And it's okay if sometimes you have a bunch of snacks instead of an actual meal, if that's what's practical in the moment. So practice that flexible mindset. The most important thing is that I honored my hunger. I had those foods available. It was satisfying and delicious, and I was able to then be present with my kids on the flight, enjoy a movie, and not be completely consumed and obsessed and worried and feeling guilty about what I'm eating or how I'm eating. There was just that peace and contentment and my body feeling good as well. Okay, so we get to Florida, the Sunshine State. I'm so excited. I was hungry on the way in the car, so I took very accessible and easy snacks. Nuts, for example, are super easy. Hungry on the way to the hotel, so I had some. And again, I'm sharing this moment with you because when you're not stressing about how much exactly you should eat according to the diet plan or food rules, or stressing about which exact perfect snack to have, it just becomes easier and you can enjoy the experience so much more. So we get to the hotel and dinner is eating out at restaurants. So I want to share with you some tips on how to eat at a restaurant in a way that feels good, especially when you're on vacation and restaurant going might be happening often. Remember that you're opting out of that all or none mentality. You're not going on a diet when you get back home. This is not your only chance to enjoy delicious food. So keep having that mantra for yourself. I just want to feel good and I want to enjoy this food. When you go to the restaurant, make sure that you're not overly hungry, because if you're overly hungry, you're more inclined to overeat just because your body needs that food urgently and it's harder to make conscious food choices. When you get to the restaurant, look over the menu and choose what actually sounds good to you, because if you're going to start choosing based on your food rules and feeling guilty and saying, okay, I could only have the salad, I can't enjoy these other foods, that's going to fuel deprivation. That is not going to be fun at all. And it's most likely eventually going to result in that breaking loose moment of, I don't care, forget it, I'm just going to eat whatever I want, and then chaos breaks loose. It's so important to actually eat what you enjoy. So choose what you want from the menu, enjoy it, actually pay attention to the flavor and the taste, and are you enjoying it? Are you feeling good? And remembering again and again that it is not your only chance to eat delicious foods. And also remember that you can take whatever food is left to go. Don't be shy to ask for the to-go bag. We definitely did that multiple times. We had lots of leftovers and we took that to go, and it was enjoyed at a later time, and can definitely also help you to have the future meals planned if you have leftovers that you can then have for lunch the next day or even for breakfast. I also think it's an important moment to realize and to acknowledge that food is more than just fuel. And just as food can benefit our physical health, we also want to give attention and honor how food can really benefit our mental and emotional health. When we went out to eat, it was really a moment where I was able to enjoy this time with my family and bond with my children over food and find joy in it. Food is something that bonds us. It's something that gives us pleasure. It's something that gives us joy and experiences and is part of memories. And that is something to celebrate. It is healthy for us to have that in our lives. Food has nutrients, and definitely nutrients that we need, but also the pleasure of food and the emotional component of food is equally important to a balanced life and to feel healthy holistically. The payoff to food freedom and being present and being able to listen to your body is that you enjoy the food, you're able to honor your fullness, you're able to enjoy the experience, and then move on, and then go on to singing in the car and not thinking about that bite of pasta you had, or going to the pool and not obsessing about the mac and cheese or cookie that you had, and just moving on instead of taking your whole day and having it be about obsessing over what you ate, which is not healthy for our mental health. And what's not healthy for our mental health is also not healthy for our physical health. Okay, now as much as I'm talking about these positive experiences where we ate out and I was able to honor fullness and teaching you how to honor your fullness at restaurants and when you're on vacation, there was also an experience where I didn't honor my fullness. There's no such thing as perfect eating, and sometimes in a way that doesn't necessarily feel amazing, but you can still keep eating intuitively and not have that turn into absolute chaos and trigger binge eating and feeling out of control with food or feeling horrible and guilty. So let me share two experiences with you. Most of the times that we went out to restaurants, I was able to order foods that sounded good, that tasted good, eat in amounts that felt good, honor my fullness, and feel good when I left, move on with my day. But there was one eating experience, one restaurant experience where we ate out for dinner, and I did overeat to the point of discomfort. And let me explain to you why that was actually an intentional decision, how that plays into intuitive eating, and what to do to move on from that and to feel your best instead of spiraling into that negative self-talk of, oh, well, I overate and this is horrible and so bad and forget it, I'm just gonna eat whatever I want and then I'm going to, start again when I get home, which is not serving you, it's just gonna make you feel worse. So when we got to this restaurant, I ordered a dish that sounded delicious and I was perfectly hungry for it, took a bite, oh my God, such heaven, delicious. It was this like pappardelle pasta with like a fettuccine sauce and mushrooms, and it was just so delicious. Halfway through that dish, I can sense that I was kind of getting to comfortable fullness, but the food was still so delicious and tasty and I wanted to experience it. And so in the past, it would have been a tug of war of these food rules where, oh my God, I'm full, I have to stop, and eating more is bad and I've ruined my day and I was out of control, and it becomes a tug of war with the food. Instead, I took back the power and I said, okay, listen, you have a choice. You do have a choice. The food is absolutely delicious. You do have the choice to keep eating and basically overeat for the pleasure of eating it, but you're also gonna probably have some level of discomfort after. What's worth it to you right now? This is you taking the power back. It's okay if sometimes food just tastes really delicious and you wanna overeat. Yes, if you're overeating all the time, binge eating, that's not benefiting you, we wanna resolve that. But if for the most part, you're honoring your hunger fullness, and sometimes there's just this really delicious dish that you wanna keep eating just because it tastes good, there can actually be such empowerment by making an intentional choice to say, hey, I am gonna overeat and I very much know that I might feel physical discomfort after. That is worth it to me for the pleasure that I'm gonna get from eating this big bowl of pasta, and I'm okay with that. So when the fullness discomfort comes a little bit later, and I'm not talking about this binge eating fullness where you feel like horrible and gross, but kind of just a little distended more than usual, you're not beating yourself up about it. You've made that choice and you own it, and then are able to move on instead of spiraling into guilt or spiraling into a binge because you've ruined things. Most times when I have something presented to me that's really yummy and I'm full and I have that choice, I will say, no, it's not worth it. I know that it's available to me later. I'm okay with stopping at this comfortable fullness and move on. But sometimes, like when you're on vacation and you have this amazing pasta dish, it can feel super empowering and intuitive to say, hey, I know what I'm doing. I'm making this conscious choice and it's okay. And that can actually help you really lean in to intuitive eating and feel that freedom in a way that feels good to you, even though physically you've kind of paid the price for it. You made that choice knowingly. And so I did that. I had this delicious meal. I enjoyed every part of it, did not feel guilty, owned the fact that I didn't feel amazing physically after, but also knew that the fullness is going to pass. And the next morning, without needing food rules or to compensate my body just by listening to it, naturally I wanted something that would feel lighter. I wanted some more vegetables, and I had leftover salad from the night before, and that's what I had for breakfast the next morning, and it felt good. It felt intuitive. My body felt already better the next day. Choosing to consciously overeat sometimes can really truly actually help you eat intuitively in the long run when you stay flexible. So let's stop demonizing overeating. Sometimes it can really bring you pleasure. Of course, again, if it feels chaotic all the time, that's something we want to address. But occasional overeating, like at a delicious restaurant or at a holiday meal, that is something that could also bring you joy, and that is okay. Let's normalize that. We are humans, and sometimes foods just taste delicious and we want to enjoy that experience. So the second experience that didn't go down exactly intuitive is when we got to the hotel the next day, the kids were dying to go to the pool. I usually wake up before my kids at home, but on vacation, I woke up with them and I had all the kids around me trying to eat this breakfast of mine. And it wasn't even the foods that I typically eat because I was on vacation. We went to the local supermarket, got some peanut butter. They didn't have the peanut butter that I like. They didn't have the bread that I like. All the things that I typically eat at home, they didn't have the exact ones that I wanted on this vacation. So when I sat down and I'm trying to eat this food that I'm not absolutely in love with to begin with, and my kids are clamored all around me, it was not a mindful experience. And when I was done eating it, my body did not feel so great. Mentally, I didn't feel like I enjoyed it, and it was not a satisfying eating experience. Here's the thing with intuitive eating. It's not always going to be a rock star meal, and it's okay if not every single meal is perfectly mentally satisfying or is amazing. Yes, satisfaction factor is important, but so is flexibility. In that moment, it was just practical for me to get some breakfast in so I could go with my kids to the pool and have that energy. It was not a very enjoyable meal, but in the past, if I would have had a meal like that where I didn't enjoy it, didn't feel mindful, didn't feel great after, it would just spiral this is a bad day kind of mindset when you're thinking an all or none mentality. And it might have spiraled into more eating that wasn't intuitive, wasn't aligned, wasn't about listening to my body, because I would be in this mode of, my day is ruined anyway. Instead, when you have an unsatisfying eating experience, it's recognizing, okay, what kind of contributed to it being unsatisfying? Was it the way I ate it, the environment I ate it in, the types of foods that I had, and what can I learn from it? Then learn to sit with that discomfort and just move on, because you will have an opportunity for another meal. You will have another opportunity to choose what is satisfying. And through these experiences, you'll learn what will help you eat in a way that is satisfying. I knew that I needed to start my day in a way that felt good in order to show up as my best for the rest of the day. So I woke up earlier than the kids. I made myself breakfast and sat down quietly in the sun and really mindfully enjoyed my meal. And it made such a difference to how I experienced the food and the satisfaction factor of that. The reason I'm sharing this with you is because it's okay if not every meal is satisfying or mindful. That's just life. But if you never have time to slow down, if you never have time to pay attention to what you're eating, then you're setting yourself up for unfair expectations. In order to listen to your body and figure out what is satisfying to you, you need to have the presence of mind to take in that information from your body and from your taste buds. And if you're just on the go, 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 if life around you is just chaotic all the time, then your eating is going to be a reflection of that. So this is me encouraging you to allow yourself to slow down. If you don't have time to slow down for even 5 minutes to just pay attention to what you're eating and how it feels to your body, then I urge you to look at your, do an inventory of your life and where are you giving your priority to, because definitely you are not even near the top of your list if you don't have any time to pay attention to your body. And it is so key to being able to eat intuitively. So set realistic expectations for yourself. Allow yourself to slow down. Take a deep breath. It doesn't have to be every single meal, but definitely at least start with one meal a day. What's most realistic to you? Breakfast, lunch, dinner. If you want to feel good in your body, practicing the skill of mindfulness, which is being present and taking in the information from your body and from the food, is so essential to being able to be the expert of your body and eat intuitively. I hope that this vlog, or this kind of vlog, this insight into vacation and how to eat intuitively has helped you, one, feel inspired and motivated to continue to heal your relationship with food and see the true payoff of what it means to have food freedom, which is life freedom, which is enjoying all aspects of your life. And I hope that it's also given you helpful tips to truly enjoy your next trip or vacation in a way that feels good. Because remember, you don't need to be good, you want to feel good, and having that be the focus and knowing how to do that. Let me know in the comments below what you found most helpful, what other topics you'd want to see, what other kinds of vlogs you'd like to see. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a like, subscribe for more videos on how to help you feel at peace with food and at peace with your body so you can live life fully. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.